People are scared of old people for no reason. Moments later, one of said old people, would you mind getting inside the oven to clean it? Oh, sure, Grandma. It's not like I've ever read any grim fairy tales, the story of Hansel and Gretel, where they had to kick the old witch into the goddamn oven. That's not going to happen here. It's not like you and Grandpa haven't been acting really goddamn strange from the moment we got here. You and Pop-Pop have just been swell. You've been goddamn swell. You're old. You can't get inside the oven to clean. I'll do it. I'm small. I'll fit in here. Wait, why are you turning on the gas? What the hell's wrong with you, Grandma? God, this is such a fun vacation. Isn't this a fun vacation? Ah! Fucking M. Night Shyamalan strikes again with The Visit. He wrote and directed it. And also Blumhouse had something to do with it. Because anytime Blumhouse, and Universal Pictures can get their grubby little mitts on a horror movie from a formerly renowned director, yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna fucking do it. This movie came out in 2015, and I actually didn't have a chance to see it until now. And I don't know if 7 years qualifies as a retro review. Maybe I'll put that in the title. I don't know. Oh, remember when M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong Chang Shabab? Remember when this fucker made some good goddamn movies? I can't even do the reference right. Oh, yeah! Okay, so this isn't the worst movie that he's fucking done, but it is definitely one of the laziest. It's found footage. So right there, the movie's fucked. And I like a lot of found footage movies. For good, bad, or indifferent. They're kind of entertaining. This one, there are no likable characters. None. Absolutely none. They're either characters that are so obviously evil, characters that are so obviously dumb, or in the case of the mother here, one of the worst goddamn parents in the history of mankind, alien kind, other alternate universes. Doesn't matter. One of the worst parents ever. One of the most negligent parents. My God. So basically, the main star of this is Becca, Olivia DeJonge, who would go on to play Priscilla, not Queen of the Desert, because she wasn't alive when the movie came out. The movie came out in 1995, by the way. She would later play Priscilla Presley. You know, the young lady, the teenager that Elvis groomed. But nobody wants to hear about that. Check out my Elvis review if you want to hear me talk about that. So, her and her brother Tyler. Ed Oxenbould, who was in Better Watch Out. That's where I recognize that douche nozzle from. Actually, he was supposed to play a douche nozzle. That's kind of the idea. Nevertheless, these are two kids that want to help their mother come to grips with her past because she left home at 19, hadn't talked to her grandparents in a number of years, and after a failed relationship, basically, I'm just going to spoil every goddamn thing because the movie's been out for 7 years. After a relationship went tits up, she's trying to pick up the pieces, pick up the pieces. She's finally able to go on a cruise with a new significant other, boyfriend, fiance, I don't know, somebody she picked up in a goddamn bowling alley. I don't care. Maybe he picked her up like a bowling ball. There we go. Her grandparents, or their grandparents, but her parents had reconnected with her recently after some tumultuous stuff that we find out a little bit later what actually happened. And the kids are like, hey, we want to give you a vacation. You've been a great mother, so we're going to go see the grandparents. Okay, but I haven't talked to them for years. Okay, that's fine. Don't worry. We'll have fun. We'll have fun. We're going to take this camera, and we're going to go, and we're going to just have fun. So we don't have a phone signal out there, but we're going to be able to film this stuff and upload it on the internet because somehow they have an internet connection out there despite the fact that they don't have a signal for cell phones. They have an internet connection that's really strong to have video calls in 2015 in a remote part of Pennsylvania. The grandparents are acting weird, really weird. What the hell were their goddamn names? Deanna Donegan and Peter McRobbie. I'm McRobbie. Nobody gets it. No, unless you're a deep cut wrestling fan, you have no idea what I'm saying. Yeah. So from there, it turns out that the grandparents are acting really, really goddamn weird. The grandma's crawling around, retching, acting really goddamn weird. And when the kids play hide and seek under the house, the grandmother's chasing them and ha 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 ha. And the grandfather also keeps some weird stuff in the shed. Some weird shit in the shed, literally, in this case. And they have animals even though you never really see them. You hear a horse neigh. I mean, that's really about it. And they're on a remote farm. And the mother goes off. She sends them on a train. Doesn't see them off to see the grandparents. Keep that in mind. She goes off on a cruise. And then they're having their video calls with the mother, talking everything. This trip's going to take place over a week. And The grandparents set some rules. Bedtime's 9:30. Maybe don't come out at night. Oh, and the basement has mold in it, so don't go in the basement. Don't look in the basement. That was a different movie. One that is referenced so goddamn well, subtly here, like a brick to the skull. Which M. Night Shyamalan deserves to have hurled at him repeatedly for movies like this. Still, this isn't as bad as Old. See, the idea actually wasn't the worst thing in the world. The problem is the execution. Like, this movie needed to be publicly executed in front of its family, even though a movie can't have a family. So, yeah, the hide and seek things, all fun and acting weird. Everybody's acting really goddamn weird. The grandmother chases them around and says, "I'm making chicken pot pie." And it turns out that, well, the grandparents, they volunteer at a mental hospital where patients aren't really visited all that often. They're kind of just left there and abandoned. Don't abandon your parents, family members. They're there, especially if you were close to them. Even if they seem different, it's tough to see them. Part of them knows that you're still you and that you care about them. They ain't abandon you during your tough times. Don't abandon them during theirs. So, Jesus Christ. They've just played games here and there and everything. Grandma continues to act weird, run around, do all this stuff. The dad attacks somebody out of goddamn nowhere because he thinks that he's watching him. I always feel somebody's watching me. Then the laptop suddenly gets messed up where the grandma accidentally put biscuit gravy over the camera, so the camera doesn't work, but the mother's camera works on her device. Yeah, that's convenient. By all accounts, keep filming, by the way. Found footage logic dictates that no matter what you see, no matter how many warning signs you get, no matter how much shit you get, no matter how stupid you kids are, just keep filming. Keep fucking filming. So, there are stories told between the two siblings. They reflect on why their dad left. He went for a Starbucks barista, wanted to give her a double shot Frappuccino. Moving on from that hideous joke, Tyler talks about playing Pee-wee football, and he didn't tackle somebody when he was 8. He just totally froze. He was like a safety, or free safety, whatever the fuck the position is. And he totally froze, didn't do that, and he thought that his dad was mad, and that's why he left. So, then we hear more from like the grandparents. Turns out Tyler's actually a germaphobe. He developed this germophobia sometime after the dad left, like it's something he can control. He also does freestyle rapping, which, man, I wanted this fucking kid to die really quickly because he is really bad at it. It's kind of like watching Dashcam, except with slightly less annoying characters, because Dashcam was an absolute goddamn atrocity. And Becca is grilled for why the dad left and that she feels worthless and she feels like this and she feels like she's to blame for this. And it's just all right, rife with humor and everything. It's so fun. Look, it's supposed to be a horror movie, and the only thing horrifying is the writing and acting and, well, everything. Everything about this. Everything about this is horrifying. And the grandma eventually finds a hidden camera that they put up there because the grandma's been acting really weird. We're going to put the hidden camera up there. And the grandma takes it around, acts all weird, and is waving a butcher knife. Like she's Michael Myers. Also, the stuff in the shed was shit. Adult diapers kept by the grandfather. He kept them out there and then eventually burned them. Yeah. So, then the grandma's interviewed for the movie a couple times. She won't answer about why their mother left. Why their mother left at age 19. And then the grandmother tells a story about this pond where these creatures keep spitting in it, these alien creatures from another world. They spit in that. It puts people to sleep. And there's all these bodies at the bottom of the pond. And then people are going to be taken back to this weird land like it's Lady in the Water. Except this might actually be less irritating than Lady in the Water because that actually had potential. But they're all at the bottom of the pond. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And then more stories. Morning Glory. What's the word? Hummingbird. Becca says, hey, wouldn't you want, to be reunited with your daughter? Okay, wait, no, how about this story? And they take the names out and tell the basic same story. What would you want to say? Oh, I forgive you, little girl. So the kids are actually doing therapy without realizing it. The grandfather's acting weird. Has a shotgun like he wants to go Kurt Cobain on everybody. And the grandmother continues to act weird, run around. And then they decide, hey, we're going to call Mom. After all this weird stuff, we probably should have called her a couple days before, but she should be back from her trip. Oh, she is. And she's having relationship trouble. But Mom, you need to come pick us up right now, tonight. Why? Why do I need to do that? Keep in mind that she put them on the train, and didn't actually see them get there to see the parents, or her parents and their grandparents. Keep that in mind. Now, it might have been a bit away, but what I would have done is taken the train trip. If you were any kind of goddamn parent, and I'm not, thank fuck, you would have wanted to make sure parents that you hadn't seen for a number of years, that everything goes good. Oh, okay, hey, thanks, I understand. Maybe you don't want to be around them. All right. But at least be on the train and be like, okay, honey, have fun storming the castle. No, she doesn't do that. They show her them talking outside outside the goddamn house. Those are not your grandparents. Which everybody would have known if this mother had done the basic anything. Basic cognitive thoughts, basic caring for human life. Figure this out. Oh no, those aren't your grandparents. Oh shit, I can't call the police department because they only have one police officer. I'm going to drive up there. And then there was a side character named Stacy that I think worked at the hospital because she was trying to get the people to come back. And why was she trying to get them to come back? Because they aren't the grandparents. They're escaped mental patients, and they killed the grandparents and took their... It really is like Don't Look in the Basement, but less snuffy. And that's probably a good thing. It's probably a really good thing, because Don't Look in the Basement was absolute shit. But they're playing a board game, and the kids are trying to escape, and they can't. Because they just wanted to be grandparents. They just wanted to have a normal time. But nope, they need to kill the kids, because the kids know their secret. That's why they couldn't look in the basement, because there's a whole bunch of stuff, and the pictures are all different. And it turns out that they were patients of the grandparents, and the grandparents killed them. The mother's heading up. Driving up there. We don't see that, but we assume because she shows up at the end. And the grandmother's hiding under the bed, playing in sheet, all this kind of stuff. Slams, I believe, or what was it? Yeah, slams the, a mirror gets broken. Somehow. It's found footage, so it's hard to tell. And then Becca says, ha, stabby, 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 and she kills the old woman that's not her grandmother. Meanwhile, the grandfather is torturing the germophobic Tyler, rubbing one of his adult diapers on his face. And he's just frozen there because he's a germaphobe and also he's an idiot. And then Becca attacks the grandfather, but she gets thrown. And then Tyler snaps out of it and tackles him a few times. Because he's old, he falls down. And then takes the fridge and slams it into his head. Any other crazy motherfuckers. And then the mother shows up with the cops and they have the rest of the film. And Becca, you didn't need to go and do that just to help me. You didn't need to put yourself in mortal danger, even though I didn't check to make sure that you were going to be safe, or you and your brother were going to be safe. It's all right. It's all right. Don't worry. It's cool. It's important to remember that family's important. And also maybe to check on family members you haven't seen in a number of years to make sure, I don't know if your actual family members are not escaped mental patients, or they are who they say they are, and we let them off the hook. And on that Dennis Green quote, God, F. Fuck M. Night Shyamalan for being allowed to make movies. Fuck any studio for allowing him to make movies, and this is terrible. Sadly, not even probably in the top 5 worst that he's done. Definitely top 10, though. Anyway, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charm Ritlin. I'll see you soon.